shenanigans.
Are we good now? Oh gosh, I'm getting a raid. I'm confused. Oh jeez, flawless. Oh my gosh, flawless. Thank you. You hear me now, right? I was completely muted. Sorry, guys. So my gosh, flawless. Thank you. Oh my goodness, everybody's going from Fortnite to mental health. Oh my gosh, how's everybody doing? Welcome in, guys. I'm doing mental health Mondays every Monday, and W raid 100% super duper raid. Thank you, flawless, for the raid. Oh my gosh. So you sent me right back to me. Oh geez. Okay. Thank you, flawless. Welcome in, raiders. I'm Sushi. We do mental health Mondays on Mondays. So yeah, this is what we're doing today. We're talking about overcoming fear, stress. You know, we all got stressed and stuff in life. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Claudia, thank you for being here. Hi, Jember. How are you doing? Hi, Cassie. She has her blurp walk on. I think I turned blurps off, actually. Did I? Blurps. I guess blurps are off. Yeah, they're off. They're not even on my thing right now. Oop, that's weird. Mental health. Starosa, thank you. I hope everybody's doing super amazing today. I am doing really good. It's been a busy morning as always. Sushi's always busy, you know, always running around, always a lot to do. There's never enough time in a day, but that's okay because you know, in the end of the day, everything works out. So, and that's what matters, right? So there was something I was forgetting here that I can't remember right now what it was, but it's okay. Doesn't Nothing matters. Everything is good. I think I have my videos over here. Have a couple of pictures that I'm gonna put on for some of the stuff that I'm gonna be talking about. Yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of science on the topic today, and Staros, I think. Oh, I know what I was looking for. I was looking for my headpiece. Oh, my earplugs are right here in my drawer. Good, because I don't want you guys hearing the echo from everything that is happening over here. You know. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's fine. New follow. Oh, hi, gal. Thank you for the follow. Flawless gave Starosa a sub. Thank you, Flawless. How was your stream, Flawless? Are you still playing the games? I can't see right now because everything is like so compacted on my tab. I have all my documents open. I have my science journal open. I have stuff about cognitive therapy open. Everything is open all over. I have like one, two, three, four screens right now, and everything is like packed with stuff. No games. 4 p.m. is mental health time. Cool. So yeah, you guys voted on this subject is about overcoming fear, stress, but I'm gonna break everything down into like what is fear and what is stress and the difference between the two of them, and we're gonna talk a little bit about anxiety there too, overwhelmness, and now all that good stuff, you know. So yeah, it's a warm here today, super warm. So I'm like wearing a tank top because it's a nice warm day here. Yeah, so I have an option also for today for either on stream or after stream because there's going to be a ton of talking today, a lot of talking. Um this has become something. Is it ghost janitors? Because I changed from ghost janitors, but all my OBS is so shows ghost janitors. Weird. I hope it's not that, you know. But yeah, let's see here. Sushi love. Oh no, it's just chatting. That's good. It's just chatting. So that's goody good. Okay. So I'm gonna actually close that tab because that was flawless open. Um just chatting. Awesome. I'm so happy that it all worked out well. So yeah. Um so we're gonna be talking about that subject that I just told you about. I'm just getting everything. Sorry guys, all my tabs are everywhere still. And there's just this weird thing. I'm gonna snooze this. I don't want to see this thing. It's taking over my screen. Jeez. Okay. 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 Let's go. So now I have my notes. I have the chat. Everything is organized. And then I have my journal over here. My first traumatic because there's stress disorder journal. Okay, we're good. We are good. So I want everybody to feel welcome and like I know this is kind of taking forever, but I just want to welcome everybody in. And I'm so glad everybody's here today. And I don't know if you're feeling good or feeling stressed or overwhelmed or just kind of existing today. You're in the right place. Just believe me, you're in the right place. So, and honestly, sometimes we're just existing, you know, today. And that's okay too. And I just want to give you a quick reminder that this space is really about real conversations and shared experiences. I'm not a professional, just someone who cares about everything and like to learn and grow with you guys. Like this has been a huge personal growth for me. Learning about all the stuff that I'm sharing with you, it's been quite amazing. And I am going to show you guys my little disclaimer. I need to have it on my video just in case. And this is my disclaimer here. Before we begin, I just want to gently share that I am not a licensed medical professional or a mental health expert. Everything we talk about during Mental Health Monday come from my own research, personal experiences and perspectives, as well as the thoughts and insights of any guests that I have on. This space is meant to be supportive, open, and informative, but it isn't a substitute for professional advice or care. If you're going through something or need deeper support, I truly encourage you to reach out to a qualified mental health professional. You deserve to be supported in the best way possible. Okay. Wisebot Stars got the welcome game strong. Welcome, Star. Star. Let's go. Awesome. So today's topic is one we all voted for, like I said before. We're going to be talking about fear and stress, like I said, but it's not just like, yeah, we feel it. If we feel it, you know, we're actually going to break it down a bit without making you feel like, you know, a boring science class or anything like that. You know, I promise I try, you know. So we're going to talk about the neuroscience of fear. So what's actually happening in our brain. We're going to talk about how to use fear instead of losing control, losing control over you, you know, letting it control you. Sorry. So we're going to talk about use fear instead of letting it control you. And that's really important, right? We're going to try to understand it, work with it, and calm our body by understanding. Sorry about the delay. Hi, Lady Debbie, you made it over Skype. I just started. So, okay, so again, we're going to talk about the neuroscience of fear, okay, and what's actually happening inside our body, in our brain, okay, with about fear. We're going to learn how to use fear instead of letting it control us. We're going to understand it, work with it, and calm our bodies. And then we're going to learn how to break the patterns from stress and fear. And that's a lot of the, what Joe Dispenza talks about. We're going to tap into that quite a bit, because really fear is not the big problem here. It's just that most of us have zero training on how to deal with fear. So, like, nobody sat us down and said, "Hey, one day your brain is gonna panic for no reason. Here's what to do." We just got thrown into life, and you're like, it's like, good luck, right? That's just how it is. So tonight we're keeping it real simple and grounded in science. Okay, I'm gonna talk about science a lot, and we'll also touch a little bit, like I said, on Joe Dispenza's teaching towards the end. So I drank a lot of coffee. So let's take a quick deep breath here. Okay. Hi, Sean of Detroit. Okay, let's get into it. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about the neuroscience of fear. It's a big one. All right. So when we talk about neuroscience of fear, okay, we're going to start with the foundation. Hi, Mass Machine. Hello. So before we can change how we respond to fear, we kind of have to understand what fear actually is, right? So like what's happening to our brain and our body, and like when we feel that spike of fear, when we have that. Because once you see that fear is a biological response, not just you overthinking or you being weak, it starts to feel a lot more manageable. It's just about learning the process, right? So let's try to break down the neuroscience of fear in a simple way. I'm going to talk a little bit scientific stuff here from the studies that I read, but yeah, we'll get this done. So, what is fear really? Not just like the one that you get scared when you watch a movie, or the kind that from a scary video game or something, but the kind that lives in your body, the kind that shows up as stress, anxiety, panic, and even trauma, right? But before we go like super deep into this, I just wanted to remind you again, I am not a doctor. This is for conversation, education, and support. If you're dealing with any trauma or PTSD, you deserve real support from a qualified professional, really. And you don't have to carry all of that alone. Hi, Jibber. How are you doing? Welcome in. Um, we're talking about fear and anxiety and stress and how to overcome it. So I try to keep it simple, okay? Um, I try to simplify this a little bit. Fear is not just in your head. Fear is a whole body experience, and like your heart beats faster, your muscles get all tightened up, your breathing changes, your brain goes into this alert state, right? So it's like your body is basically saying, "Hello, something might happen wrong. Something's wrong here. Let's panic just in case." And even if the danger is sending a text or speaking to someone at a meeting or meeting with someone that you're having a little anxiety about, that system is actually here to protect us. Fear is not always bad. It can actually stop us from walking into danger, trusting the wrong situation, or ignoring red flags, right? So fear is actually a good thing. It's part of our instincts. But here's where it gets tricky with the fear. Sometimes fear keeps firing even when we're not actually in danger anymore. That's when fear stops protecting us. It's just like the rabbit, for example. The rabbit, has the fear he's getting chased, and out of the sudden, uh, the thing is gone, the threat is gone, and the rabbit goes back into grazing and eating his thing. He just went back into the natural state of being. He's not like thinking all day if the guy is coming back to get him or something. So And that's important about fear. Um, so when you do too much fear, the fear stops protecting us, right? And it starts controlling us. And that's the difference between healthy fear and unhealthy fear. So we got to separate a few things because they all get mixed up sometimes. So stress is your body being activated, and anxiety is about something that might happen in the future. Fear usually tied to uh b- like a threat, like you think a threat is about to happen, and trauma is when a past fear gets stored so deeply in your body keeps reacting later. So trauma is not you being dramatic, okay? It's your nervous system going, hey, last time this happened, it was not okay. So we're staying on guard. So your body is loyal like that. Sometimes it's a little too loyal, to be honest. So we got to talk about the system behind all of this. You have what it's called. K-bar, thank you. We have to talk about the what's behind this, which is called the autonomic nervous system, right? The autonomic nervous system is a fancy name, but it's basically your body's autopilot system. So the stuff you don't consciously control, like breathing, heart rate, alertness, these are all from the autonomic nervous system. So there's two main sides, okay? There's the sympathetic nervous system, alert mode, fight, flight, freeze, something's happening, and then there's the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calm mode, rest, digest, relax, we're safe. So you got to think about it as a seesaw, right? Sometimes though, your alert side is stuck at max level, like it hit five energy drinks or like a ton of coffee, right? It's like right again, yeah. But parasympathetic system. Now, when fear hits, your brain activates something that it's called the HPA axis. Okay, the HPA axis is um, the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal cortex. Okay, and so right, I was gonna put a little thing so I could show you a little bit of that, but I can actually do this really quick. Okay, um, let's see here. No, that's not gonna work. I have a picture that I want to show. There we go. This is the pituitary gland right there. Oh my gosh, this is too big. Sushi. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that works. There we go. Hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and then adrenal cortex is in our kidneys. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. Um, Hey Sushi, what did I miss? I was trying to get my dog inside because of my neighbor Stefan Zakharina. You didn't miss. Okay, so you didn't miss much. We just started, okay? I'm talking a little bit about science here, and I'm soon we're gonna get into like less sciencey stuff. But I want to you guys to understand about this little things. So the HPI axis, or the I have to read again, the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal cortex. Um, so this system exists to release chemicals like adrenaline, right? The adrenaline is the fast oh snap feeling, and then the cortisol is the longer last stress response. Okay, so even after something stressful happens, your body might still feel shaky, tense, or tired, right? That stress response. And that's not you being weak. That's just your biology still buffering the situation. So your nervous system is basically like processing, and like still processing. So, yeah, there's a lot of process in there. So we got to talk about the super famous one, the amygdala. I don't know if you guys have heard about the amygdala at all. So it's another part of the brain. So the amygdala is your brain threat detector, basically. It scans everything, what you see, hear, feel, and ask, is this safe or is this dangerous, right? So, and it's very fast. The amygdala acts very fast. It's what protects you in the long run, right? And sometimes the amygdala acts so fast that it reacts before your logical brain even shows up. And that's just what the amygdala does. And that's why you can feel fear before you can even understand what the fear is like. So your amygdala is like, I don't have time for details. We panic first and then we think later, right? So that's what the amygdala does to you and your brain. And there's a empowering part about this, because you also have your prefrontal cortex, which I also have a picture to show. And that's the part of your brain that helps you think, reflect, and make sense of everything, right? So that's another important part of the body. And that part can step in and say, okay, my body feels scared, but I'm actually in danger right now. Am I actually in danger right now? Right? So there's two different parts about it. So your prefrontal cortex actually helps put a story around the fear. And I like this part because we won't always be able to control the first wave of fear, but sometimes we can influence what fear means. So the difference between, oh geez, oh my gosh, Forsaken God. Thank you. Thank you, Forsaken God. Super Raid. Thank you. Thank you for bringing people to Mental Health Monday. I appreciate it. That is so nice of you. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you, Forsaken God. Hey, how's it going? I'm going good. I'm gonna drink some water. Thank you so much for thinking about me for the raid today. Forsaken God, I appreciate it. It's nice that you're bringing people for Mental Health Mondays. It's awesome. Super duper raid. Thank you. Chicken Little, didn't check our OBS. I just got alert you were live again. Ooh, I knew it was Mental Health Monday. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Super W Mental Health Awareness. Thank you, Sant Dubsy. Yes, we go a little bit in like more into the science base. So we're talking about the brain a lot today and about fear and stress and how to overcome it. Like right now, we're breaking down some parts of the brain and how it works, how stress works in our brain. And we're also gonna break down we're gonna so right now we're in the neuroscience of fear, right? What's actually happening in our brain. We're gonna also learn how to use fear to our advantage instead of letting it control us, okay? Because a lot of times the fear control us like super, right? And we're also going to talk about how to understand, work with it, and how to calm your body. And then we're gonna talk about breaking the patterns from stress, fear to survival creation, Joe Dispenza style. I don't know, a lot of you guys. Hi, Cassie. Hi, Cassie. Thank you for stopping by. So a lot of the people that have been watching Mental Health Mondays from like when I first started, I'm a huge believer on Joe Dispenza's teachings. I have a lot of his books. I read a lot of them. A lot of my writing is based on his teachings, and so yeah, it's important to me. Joe Dispenza is super important to me. I love the guy, and so I like to spread the awareness that he helps us spread. So we were talking about the prefrontal cortex, okay? So the prefrontal cortex being that part of your brain that helps us think, reflect, and make sense of everything, okay? That's what the prefrontal cortex does, okay? And that part can stop and say, okay, my body feels scared, but I'm actually in danger right now. Am I in danger right now, right? So the prefrontal cortex helps us put a story around the fear. And I like this part because we won't always be able to control it first, but sometimes we can influence what fear means. And that what fear means, the difference can be, for example, I'm scared, so I can't do this. So the difference between that and I am scared because this matters to me and I'm going to be more careful about it. So there's two big differences about that right there, right? The I'm scared and I can't do this, or I'm scared because this mattered to me and I'm going to be careful about it. So those are very different, right? And that changes everything because maybe we can't control the fear, but we can learn to work with what comes after the fear, right? Oh my gosh, 7 stream streak. Let's go. Flawless, thank you. Thank you for gifting Cassie. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, now this part is really important because we can't just delete fear, right? We can't just delete fear. The brain doesn't have like a trash bin that you can just grab the fear and stick it in there, right? Like it doesn't have a trash folder for emotions or anything like that. So the true actual healing is not about deleting fear. It's about creating a new association with fear. So instead of your brain only knowing this equals danger, it can be also, we can teach it to slowly say this can also equal safe now, instead of just assimilating this to danger. This can also be safe now. And that's why therapies like exposure therapies or CBT, like cognitive behavioral therapy, they exist. And if you guys want me to go deep into that, I wrote something on the side about that too. So not to force you into any pen, but um, to help your brain learn, you really, I can experience this and still be okay, right? We can experience the fear, we can experience the stress, we can experience the trauma and still be okay. Like the fear is something that it's a, we have to tame, right, to be able to move past it, because otherwise the fear controls us, and then everything we do have the fear behind us and we don't live. You know, we're afraid of everything and we refuse to live life, fully, right? So when we help our brain experience things and still be okay, that's really good. And for everyday fears like speaking up, setting boundaries, doing something uncomfortable, the goal is not to stop being scared, okay? Because that never works. You can't just control that stuff, right? So the goal here is to take one small safe step, and like we always talk here, little steps go a long way. And maybe just we say one honest sentence, maybe we just set one tiny boundary, and maybe do the one thing that, while you're scared, just do that thing even though you're scared. And then when you keep doing that, your nervous system goes, oh, wait, we survived that. And that's how change happens, right? Change happens when you just, you do that. And another huge piece is healing is not always some perfect solar journey with candles and candies and flowers and journaling, even though we love that too. Sometimes healing is really someone saying, I'm here. You're safe. Take your time. And then your body slowly starts believing it, right? So, oh, no problem, Joe. Don't worry about it. There's also clinical treatments being studied for PTSD, like ketamine assisted, ketamine assisted, and MDMA assisted therapy. There's also in some countries they're not always legal. There's also DMT assisted therapy, and there's also psilocybin assisted therapy as well. And actually, I am trying to convince my guest to talk about that, because that's actually, she's really like, she's an expert on the subject of ketamine assisted and the MDMA assisted therapies and any kind of psychedelics assisted therapies. And I'm gonna see if because there's a legality about it, and she works for the government, and so if she gets caught talking about that stuff, it could get her in trouble. But we're trying to figure out a way to talk about it with not getting too deep into it because of the legality part of things. But in all of these assisted therapies, okay, they are done with professionals. So not something that you can just try on your own. And I would never suggest you try this on your own. But again, the idea is the same. Old fear memory, new emotional experience, right? I have tried some of those, you know, therapies, and they did help me a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. They did help. I have done, the last time I did it was in 2022. Yeah, 2022 or 2023, either or, it doesn't matter. But it just it was an amazing experience and an amazing journey for me, and it helped me overcome a lot of my traumas and anxiety. It helped me understand. It goes really deep into a lot of things. So yeah, anyways, gonna the be done with this. But There's body-based practices too. There was an interesting there was an interesting executive order signed a couple of weeks ago regarding some of this. Yeah, you're mentioning. Think it's honestly a great step forward to research. 100%, I agree, Star. And the thing is, like, there's a whole balance there because there's everything in moderation can be good for you, right? Can be good for your body, for your brain, and everything. That the thing is when they open the gates for everything, which I don't agree. But I don't want to talk politics here. But I don't agree with making every single drug legal all the time, and you can just be, whatever. I don't want to get into it, but this is true. I'm glad you mentioned that. So there's like I said, there's body based practices to overcome this stuff, and some involved controlled breathing to help your system learn how to come back down. Right, Wim Hof breathing technique is amazing. Well, we're gonna keep it safe and simple here, though. We're not gonna go too deep into this, but we can try this really quick. Okay. Um, I don't know if you guys know about the there's a like a two breathing inhale and one long exhale, and we're gonna do this a little bit, but right now we can do something simple, not even at that. So let's do one slow inhale and longer exhale, and relax your jaw, drop your shoulders, and feel, right? Just feel your feet, feel your fingers, feel your tongue, and just remind yourself, I'm here. Because sometimes your body is reacting to the past and you have to always bring it back to here, this present moment, right? So you're safe, you're present, and you're okay. And it's important when we have the panic button go and the triggers to bring yourself back here. So, and the basics matter so much. The basics, okay? Food, water, good sleep, movement, sunlight, and supportive people, okay? And I know it sounds simple, but your nervous system cannot heal properly if your body is running a low battery mode. It can't. Like you have to recharge, right? So we can ask ourselves, is this fear protecting me, or is it giving me limitations, or is it limiting me, right? Is this danger helping me now, or is my body remembering something old, right? What small step can I take right now, right? Because fear might be really loud, right? But it doesn't have to be the boss of you, right? It's more like the dramatic coworker who thinks everything is urgent. That's kind of what fear is like. Um, so your brain is doing its job, okay? Your brain is doing its job. The amygdala is firing your body. It's your amygdala is firing. Your body's trying to protect you. But here's the real question: who's actually in control? Right? Is it you, or is it your fear? Right? Because fear isn't just a reaction, right? For most people, it's not just a reaction. It can become a driver, and then that's where we need to have a real conversation, right? And the cool thing is that we can actually we can use fear productively, right? Because fear is not all bad, like I said. So most of us don't realize this, but we don't just feel fear; we get like consumed by it. I think a lot of us do actually realize that we do get consumed by fear. But like fear doesn't just knock on the door; it kicks your door open, walks in, and sits in the couch, grabs your remote, and starts changing your life decisions like it pays rent in your house, like in you, right? And then out of the sudden, it just tells you what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say, and even tells us how to think about ourselves like it's some unqualified love life coach. You know what I mean? Hi, Turk. How are you doing? Welcome in, little Turk. I hope you're doing super good today. We're talking about overcoming fear and stress We went a little bit on the neuroscience of fear, and now we're talking about how to use fear to your advantage productively. So, yeah, so like I said, fear can tell us what to do and what to say, what not to say. It can even it can even tell us how to think about ourselves, like it's some unqualified like life coach, like I said. And fear has like zero credentials, by the way, so no degree, no license, just anxiety and bad vibes, really. Let's think about it, right? So, and we can shift this like this. We can shift all of this because fear is not really the enemy, like we were talking about, right? Fear is actually information. It's fear is a signal. Okay, the problem is that we treat fear like a boss, right? Instead of just like a notification. So like if fear sends us this message and we think like, okay, I guess I'll just cancel all my dreams now, you know. And then there's we can make this. I can do a little example. So let's imagine you're home and your fire alarm goes off. You don't go like, we don't have time for this, not here, like, let me turn that off. No, you're gonna check, right? Because that sound means something could be wrong, right? So you gotta check. Now just imagine treating your emotions the same way. Instead of let me avoid this, you go, okay, why is this here? And that's you being present, right? So you can also note that if your smoke alarm goes off and you ignore it, best in case it was just, your toast. Worst case, you explaining your insurance why you trusted vibes over fire, which is not really, you know, it's not the way to go. You gotta, that's why fear is actually really important. So instead of running from fear, we get curious. We gotta ask, why am I scared? Why part of this is actually bothering me? Because if you're really honest with yourself, okay, sometimes we're not scared of the thing, we're scared of looking awkward doing the thing, right? Hi, Sean of Detroit, how are you? I'm gonna drink a little water here, guys. So we're all afraid of looking awkward, right? So we can look awkward doing the thing, like going to check and making sure things are okay without, instead of like ignoring it, right? So it's like posting something online and then immediately checking 47 times, like, did I ruin my life with that post? Right? So fear is one of the biggest things blocking our breakthroughs, right? And not because it's evil, but because it's fear is really, really loud, right? So, and it loves saying things like, what will people think? Or what if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? And then those same people were worried about what were those same people worried about, right? So because we're all worried about that stuff, it's exhausting, right? So all those people are home stressing about something they said in 2014. They're not thinking about you like that, and so we shouldn't worry about any of that stuff, right? Embarrassment. I'm here. I'm talking about all this stuff, and I'm not worried about you guys think about me. I'm just babbling here about all these things, right? It's actually liberating when you stop giving a shit about what people think about you. you know, it really is. And there's a powerful question, okay? If nothing changes, how will I feel in 5 to 10 years? And I mean, like, think about this for a second because most people already know the answer. They'll be like, yeah, I think I'll be miserable, right? But then still stay the same because change is scary and change is scary. But also staying stuck is scary too. Being stuck is really scary. And so now we're choosing between scary growth or comfortable suffering, right? And that's what a lot Joe Dispenza talks a lot about this. We kind of get into that comfortable area that it's suffering, like we prefer to stay in the comfortable suffering than to the uncomfortable scary growth, right? Because growing is uncomfortable and scary, but it's ultimately good, right? So and I don't know about you, but I'm gonna suffer at least let it be for something that upgrades my life. I am going to suffer for something that will upgrade my life and make my life better, right? And we have to have compassion with ourselves instead of judgment, right? It's really important that and that's really important because when someone is stuck in fear, okay, we don't hit them with just be confident. You can't just do that. Like you can't just say just be confident because that's like telling someone who can't swim just breathe in the water. It's the same thing. You can't do that, right? It's not. It just doesn't work that way. Instead, we can meet fear with compassion because fear is real, right? Fear is real. Hi, Moist Sushi Roll. I got just I'm resting but leaving you lurky sushi. Thank you. Appreciate sushis unite. Yeah, life could be stressful at times. Life can absolutely be stressful at times, for sure. It's never easy. It's never that easy. No, you can't just, expect that, right? Fear is real. And there could be like backlash, You could disappoint somebody and pretending that doesn't exist doesn't help anybody ever, right? So now this part is it's big, okay? Because we think if I change my situation, my life will improve. New job, new relationship, new environment, and sometimes yes, but sometimes you just take your mindset with you like an emotional carry-on luggage, and that's one of the things that I have learned hard in life, hard in life. Um, I moved a lot, and I was trying to run away from who I was because I kept running and running and running, and everywhere I went, there I was. I was the same person. I didn't change. I didn't do the work. The moment I decided to do the work, I didn't have to keep moving and keep chasing things anymore, right? So it's like that luggage, the carry-on luggage that you're taking with you. Wherever you go, you're taking yourself with you, and you're taking all your fears and you're taking all your trouble. And so even if we try new job, new relationship, new house, new town, new environment, new everything, you're still taking yourself with you, right? So have you ever noticed that? So you change everything, right? And somehow the same problems are like, hey, bestie, I'm here too. I came right with you. Congratulations. Surprise, surprise. Right? And every situation is trying to teach us something, right? Even the ones you're like, I did not sign up for this life lesson. I did not sign up for this. But life is like, oh, but you did. Hi, Josh. Welcome in. How are you doing, Josh? Welcome in. Um, so instead of asking, how do I escape this? You gotta ask, what is this trying to show me? Because if you don't learn it, you repeat it, right? And that's important to know. And life loves a good rerun, right? So let's talk about flow state a little bit, okay? This is where happiness actually lives, okay? It's when your skills and your challenge match, okay? If your skills are higher, you're bored. If your challenge is higher, you're overwhelmed. And that overwhelming feeling, that's not failure. That's your brain going, hey, we might need a tutorial here. And so we got to ask ourselves, do I need do I need to build my skills or do I need to level up my challenges? Because life isn't supposed to be like constant boredom or constant panic, right? We're aiming here for that sweet spot. It's like this is hard, but I got this, right? So there's a simple model that we can talk about here. So to feel fulfilled, okay? We need to learn something, we need to launch something, and we need to love something, okay? And so we got to pick a skill, even if you're bad at it first, because let's be honest, we're all bad at things before we are good at them. It takes time, right? So just a tutorial level of life. It's just that's just how it is, right? And then this is where most part people get stuck on, like, sometimes launching something is where people get stuck because launching some things feels like everyone is watching me, and meanwhile, nobody noticed you tripped last week, so you're good, right? So you don't have to worry about that. But when you're launching something, okay, it creates nervousness, excitement, uncertainty, and we need that. We need that. Okay. I don't know what's gonna happen feeling. We need it. I don't know what's gonna happen feeling. It's growth. It's important for us to have that. It's uncomfortable. It's a creates new neural pathways in the brain, and then we have to love something, right? And that's key. And the key is like you don't start with love because you build into love, right? You learn, then lunch, then fall in love with it. Okay. But most people try to skip the love to love first and then wonder why nothing sticks, right? So again, we learn, we launch, and we love. Okay. So you gotta learn first and then launch after and then fall in love with it after. Okay. And because we all want that loving feeling, but you have to work up to it. Okay. And so the thing is too, like if you feel like you lack purpose, okay, you feel pressure to figure everything out, you feel disconnected and you don't know your strengths, that's okay too. Okay. Because purpose isn't something that we magically find one day. Okay. It's something that we build. Okay. And so fear, again, we're gonna close fear. Fear is not here to control us. Okay. Fear is here to guide us. So we can't ignore fear and we don't blindly obey fear. We got to get curious about it, because on the other side of fear is usually growth, clarity, and a version of us that's like um wait, why didn't I know this sooner? What's up, Kush? Why didn't we do this sooner, right? And let's remember, fear might sit on your couch sometimes, but it doesn't have to run your life. Okay, you still have the remote. You have the remote. You have the power. Okay, you have the power. So you got to always remember that. So now that we've talked about fear and how it can either control us or guide us, we can zoom out for a second here, because fear isn't just randomly showing up to ruin your day. It's actually part of a bigger system in your body, and we're going to talk about that next, okay? That system is stress and emotion, anxiety, all that good stuff, you know? So like fear is basically just one flavor of stress, and not even the best one. Let's be honest, it's not the best one. 100% not the best one. So, if we really want to understand fear and stop feeling like we're being emotionally attacked out of nowhere by our fear feelings, we have to understand what's happening under the surface. So, what is our brain doing? What is our body doing? Why is our nervous system acting like we drank 5 cups of coffee or a bunch of energy drinks, right? Because once we understand that, then we stop thinking, why am I like this? Right? And we start realizing, um, oh, my body is actually trying to help me. So before we get into that, I would like to show a little video. It's a short one because I think I've talked for, holy moly, I've been talking for 52 minutes. You guys must be tired of that. Holy moly. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to show a video about, it's a short one. It's a short little video. All the talking, right? It's a short little video about 6 daily habits to reduce stress and anxiety. Okay. Okay. So let's go over here. Let's go. Oh no, my thing is not centered properly. Oh, it is. It is. There we go. Okay.
Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to our channel. Your ongoing support helps us further in our goal to spread awareness about mental health and psychology. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Now to the video. At times, we can feel stress and anxiety reach new levels. You may have felt so overwhelmingly stressed that you wouldn't turn in assignments on time, or you may have felt an abrupt feeling of anxiety wash over you as you walked over to a class podium for a presentation. Or Perhaps your stress and anxiety seem constant and unrelenting. It may be difficult to do seemingly simple tasks at all because you're too overwhelmed by your anxious thoughts and stressful to-do list. Well, to help relieve you, here are some daily habits that can reduce your stress and anxiety. Number one, washing dishes. Washing dishes? Yeah, you heard that right. According to researchers at Florida State University, washing dishes can have a positive effect on your well-being. In an effort to test which daily activities relieve stress, researchers conducted a study with the help of 51 students as subjects. They found that those who mindfully washed dishes reported a decrease in nervousness by 27% and an increase in mental inspiration by 25%. The control group, on the other hand, did not experience any of the positive effects of mindful dishwashing. So how can you practice mindful dishwashing? You simply have to be aware of your senses while washing the tomato sauce off your lasagna plate. Focus on the smell, although it might not be great. Try focusing on the smell of the soap. Also, focus on the warm water and the feel of the glasses and plates in your hands. Grounding yourself in reality by focusing on your surroundings can help you relieve stress. Number two, cuddling, hugging, and holding hands. The relaxing feeling of a cozy cuddle or warm hug. Well, that loving feeling you get when you hug, kiss, or hold hands with someone is likely due to the increased flow of endorphins humans often get from a loving hug. According to several studies, the pleasing chemical endorphins increase from cuddles and hugs, while the release of the stress chemical cortisol slows from hugs. So next time you have a chance to hug someone you love, go ahead. You'll only feel happier, and they will too. If you don't have anyone to cuddle with right now, a plushie would work too. Number three, make good posture a habit. I bet you're slouching right now, aren't you? No? Then you've made me proud, Psych2Goer. You've made me proud. Slouching? Well, don't worry. I'll teach you the benefits of great posture, my little slouchy grasshopper. We are all guilty of slouching at times, but there are some positive effects on maintaining correct posture. According to a study in the Journal of Behavior Therapy and Experimental Psychiatry, upright posture can have a positive effect and reduce fatigue. The preliminary study's conclusions suggested that adopting an upright posture may increase positive effect, reduce fatigue, and decrease self-focus in people with mild to moderate depression. So maybe you're feeling a little bit tired or inattentive. Try maintaining good posture for 3 minutes and see how you feel after. Still feel tired? Maybe take a nap next. Number four, view stress as a challenge. When we are stressed or anxious, we often feel discouraged and, well, feel even more stressed or anxious due to these feelings in the first place. Think about it. If you continue to ruminate on a worrisome thought, your anxiety and stress will only grow. Instead, try viewing stress as a challenge. Psychologist Kenny McGonigal recommends in her book, The Upside of Stress, to reframe any stressful event or anxious circumstance as a challenge. Preliminary research shows that those who adopt this mindset exhibit fewer stressful events and suffer less from negative health effects. Use this response to stress as an opportunity to grow as a person. View how you can react differently and what that will do to you and the situation. How will you feel in the long run if you react this way? What if you view your stress as a long-lost friend who needs a break or some talking to in order to calm down? Well, if you talk to them, you may just hit it off, and then you may not view stress as an enemy at all, but as a friend who simply needs to be reasoned with. Number five, meditate. I'm sure you've heard before about the benefits of meditation, but if you know your day is bound to be busy and stressful, put aside 5 or 10 minutes each morning to ease into it with some mindful meditation. It will likely be difficult to jump into a full hour's worth of meditation, so take it in baby steps. Start with 5 minutes each morning. Once you've mastered that, add an additional 5 each week until you feel comfortable. Neuroscientist Gail DeBoard demonstrated through fMRI research that changes in brain activity in subjects who had learned to meditate were unchanged even when they were not meditating. DeBoard recorded brain activity and took scans of subjects' brains while they meditated and after, while they completed everyday tasks. The scans still showed the changes in the brain activation patterns, continuing to the end of the study. This was the first time this sort of change had been discovered in the part of the brain known as the amygdala. And number six, go to bed on time. Do you go to bed on time? What time are you watching this video? If it's past your bedtime, go to bed after this tip. If it's not past your bedtime, I am once again proud. It is vital to our mental health that we get enough sleep. Sleep deprivation can impact our anxiety for the worse. According to research, not getting enough rest can increase the brain's anticipatory reactions, intensifying your anxiety and stress levels. So check the clock. Is it past your bedtime? It's time you make going to bed on time a daily habit, or a nightly one. So, will you practice these habits? Which will you try first? And which habits help you relieve stress and anxiety? Let us know in the comments. You're not alone in your anxiety and stress. Psych2Go and the many Psych2Goers are here to listen. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button and share this video with someone who might need it. Subscribe to Psych2Go and hit the notification bell icon for more content like this. As
Thank you. I forgot. I have to mute myself for the video, so I keep forgetting to unmute myself. Dumb. But yeah, I actually never go to bed. I actually go to bed on time, Lady Debbie. I just never fall asleep on time. I never fall asleep on time. I hang out on the bed and and even if I'm tired sometimes. Lately I've been good about not letting my brain take over me. It's been amazing, actually, so good. I still muted? I'm not muted anymore, right? Hello? Hello? I'm not muted anymore, right? Okay, cool. Um so one thing about meditation that I wanted to talk about here, because a lot of us think that meditation is this big thing, and really meditation can be a quick little thing that you do to be present. And actually, Joe Dispenza even says that meditation is to become familiar with. Okay, that's what meditation means. So when you just stay present and you become familiar with that moment, that you're present with yourself, um, there's nothing else there. It's just you and you becoming, familiar with yourself. Oh my gosh, that was 1%. These lights are so bright. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm looking at my camera right now and I feel like my camera is really bright. I look like super pale right now. Brad. But it doesn't matter. It's okay. So meditation is very powerful, super powerful meditation. So now that we talked about fear, I want to we talked about the neuroscience of fear. We talked about using fear to your advantage, instead of letting it control us. It's not right here, don't worry. Okay, no problem. I want to talk about now understanding fear and stress altogether. Okay, there is a little bit of science there too, and we're gonna repeat a few things about fear, but it's important, I think, to understand fear and stress. So, because we all know stress is one of those words that we hear and say all the time. Like, I'm stressed, this week was so stressful. My email is stressing me out. My text is stressing me out, or my laundry pile is starting to develop its own government, right? But today, I want us to understand stress in a little bit of a different way, okay? So, because stress is not always the bad guy, just like fear is not the bad guy either, right? So, stress is our body's way of saying, "Hey, dude, something's going on here. I think we need to get the fuck out," And our bodies are telling us to focus, protect ourselves, or handle whatever the situation is. And it's not just always bad or good. It's not always bad or good. It just depends on how long it lasts and how intense it is, and if we can control down, if we can like cool or control or cool down afterwards, right? And that's the big key, because stress becomes a big problem when your body gets stuck in emergency mode. Okay, because our nervous system is super amazing, right? But it's not meant to live in that mode, being chased by a tiger or a deadline or three unread Discord messages all at the same time. And as of me, I'll share a bit of me here. I This is something I had to control about myself. Huge. First, when I created my community, when I didn't create a community, we built this community on Fortnite of amazing people that love getting together and playing. We always made it our time, and regardless of how busy my day was, I was always getting that anxiety about, oh my gosh, it's almost time to play. It's almost, I have to go meet them and blah, blah, blah. And that stressed the heck out of me. And I'm running and I'm rushing, my heart's beating fast. And whew, I'm not like that anymore. Actually, this year of streaming, there was a lot of stress behind Discord and, making sure I answer everybody because I always want to be there for everybody. And then like it started taking I'm going a whole thing here, but that's okay. I'll talk a little bit about my experience. And I felt like the whole streaming and Discord thing was taking over my life. And now I'm not streaming as much and I'm not on Discord all that much. And I don't respond to everybody all the time, on Discord either. I had to prioritize a few things. I had to prioritize my personal life first, right? So that's just it's part of it. So stress is really a body wide response, right? It's not just in our head. And so after sharing all that information with you guys, I'm going to talk about that. Our brain is a part of our brain is a part of the whole body, response, even though it's one of the main parts of the brain, right? But our heart also, and our lungs, and our gut, and our muscles, and our hormones, and the whole immune system, and even our eyes, we're always talking to each other, with the brain, So our brain sends message to the body, and the body sends message back to the brain. So when we say, I feel stressed, we're not just talking about a thought. We're talking about a full body experience, right? Our heart can beat faster, our breathing could change, or maybe like our stomach will feel a little funky. Our muscle will get all tense. Sometimes, you feel your shoulder getting all tense. Our focus will be narrowed, right? And we could even feel restless, irritated, emotional, or like you need to do something like now, immediately, right? And this is because stress is really designed to mobilize you. So, stress basically says, okay, everyone, we have a situation, right? And your body doesn't always know the difference between a real physical threat and a stressful thought. And that's one of the things that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot. So sometimes, our nervous system reacts to an email like it's a freaking lion, right? Which is super dramatic, but honestly, some emails or some text messages do have lion energy. Like, seriously, it's true. So we can talk a little bit about the short-term stress response. So when something stresses us out, our body activates are called like the sympathetic nervous system, like I talked about before. So it's our fight or flight system. So it's a chain of nerves in our body that turns on quick and chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol are released, right? And adrenaline is what makes your heart beat faster, sends blood to our muscles, it sharpens our focus, and it makes you feel like you need to act like right now, right? I don't know if anybody here has been into a situation that you had to run, that you were in danger and you had to run, and the adrenaline kicked in and you jumped way higher than you ever could if you didn't have the adrenaline kick. This is what it is. So this is why stress can make you feel super agitated, right? And this agitation is not random, right? It's your body trying to move you. It's your body saying, do something, run, fight, fix it, send the email, leave the room, hide under a blanket, something, right? So now your body also does something super interesting. It says yes to some systems and no to others, right? So it says yes to your heart rate. It says yes to your leg muscles. That's why you can jump. It says yes to your focus and to your alertness. But then when it comes to your digestion, your reproduction or your deep rest or creative relaxed thinking, your body says, not right now, sweetheart. We're in survival mode right now. So that's why it's not good to keep in stress, right? And that's why stress can mess up with our stomach, sleep, appetite, and mood, right? Our body is not falling apart, it's just prioritizing in that moment, right? Maybe it's not, definitely not maybe, but it's not the best, always the best way, but it's trying, right? So we got to figure out a way to cool down. I feel like, I'm sorry, I'm going to pause for a second, right? Because I want to get practical on this stuff. But at the same time, I feel like I need some music. I feel like it's just my voice and it's kind of annoying, you know? I feel like I forgot to put a little background something, you know? I hope you guys are okay with me just taking a quick second here. I'm going to put a little, you know, maybe sound bath or something. I don't know. Oh, maybe I'll do 432 hertz. Miracle tone. Yes, why not? Because I feel like talking about this can be very intense. And I feel like it's something to, you know? Secret Cosmic Garden. There we go. Okay, let me see here. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Thank you, Haas. It's a lot of information. I got super caught up on all of this. I'm not gonna lie. I got super caught up on writing a lot of stuff, and there was even more. Like there was so much more. I cut things. I cut things very short because otherwise I would be talking here for 2 hours straight. Well, I'm at 1 hour and 10 minutes now, but yeah. So I want to get a little practical here. So one of the fastest ways to calm your body in real time is called the psychological sigh. So it sounds really fancy, but it's really super simple. So we do, and this is something that Andrew Uberman teaches, and I do this all the time. You know when you cry and then you go like, you know, you do that, those broken down inhales, okay, and then one long exhale. So you can do one deep inhale and then another one through your nose, not through my mouth like I did, and then one long exhale. So like this, I'm gonna do it again. And there's a science behind this that I'm going to explain, but you should try it. That's it. So your body does this actually naturally after crying. You know, when someone has been sobbing and they do that shaky double breath or triple breath or quadruple breath, you know, that's the body trying to reset itself. So the science behind this is really super cool, okay? When we're stressed, carbon dioxide can build up in the body and tiny little air sacs in the lung can collapse a little bit, okay? So the double inhale helps reopen those little air sacs. Then the long exhale release extra carbon dioxide. So the long exhale also tells the heart to slow down, which is really important, right? So this breath is like sending a nervous system a text message saying like, hey, we're not being hunted. Please stop acting like a toaster made eye contact with you. You know, try doing it like 1 to 3 times. Deep inhale, small extra inhale, long exhale. Okay, and you maybe you won't like feel it instantly. It's not going to be like a magical thing, but within about 20 to 30 seconds your body will start to calm down, right? So this is not positive thinking, it's psychology. It's science, right? You are using the body to talk to the brain. Sorry, so now here's the part that surprises everybody, okay? Short-term stress can be good for you. Not I haven't slept in 4 days and I'm surviving on iced coffee and energy drink kind of stress, but I mean like short bursts of stress. Short-term stress can sharpen focus. It can help you act quickly. It can help your immune system. Hi, Max. I didn't even... Oh, Max, check in. It can give you energy, it can help your immune system. So adrenaline can help mobilize immune cells that fights infection. That's why sometimes when you push through like a stressful week and the moment you finally relax, you get sick, right? Got Santi, hi everyone. Sorry, I was here listening the whole time. Thank you. Yes, it doesn't matter if you're here listening, if you're chatting, it doesn't matter. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So it's your body like, oh, we're safe now? Great. I will now process every germ from the past 14 business days. So one short-term stress is not evil. It's powerful, okay? The only problem is when stress never shuts off. That's the only problem here, right? So we can use stress on purpose, right? There are some practices that will activate short-term stress like cold showers, intense exercises, or certain breathing techniques. This can actually increase adrenaline, but you gotta be careful with this, like super careful, because some breathing practices like intentional hyperventilation can actually make people dizzy and even pass out, which you gotta be super careful. So never do intense breathing near water while driving, standing, or like anywhere unsafe. And if you have like any health conditions, you have to talk to a professional first, because this is serious, okay? We are here for the healing, not accidentally turning mental health Monday into sushis on the floor. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, so the idea is really small controlled stress. Small controlled stress can sometimes train the body, but the important part is recovery. Stress up, then stress down, right? That rhythm is healthy. If you stress up forever, that's where you start having a lot of problems, right? A lot of problems start from that. And then we have also the medium term stress, okay? The medium term stress is the kind of stress that lasts for days or even weeks, right? Maybe you have a busy season, maybe school, work, family, streaming, relationship, single parenting, and life all piles up, right? Medium term stress is about your stress threshold, okay? Your stress threshold is basically how much activation can my body feel before my mind starts panicking, okay? One way to build capacity is to practice staying calm when your body is activated. For example, during an exercise, your heart rate goes up, your breathing gets heavier, your body feels really intense, right? And normally your brain might go, alert, something's wrong. But you can practice saying, actually, I'm okay. My body is activated, but I'm safe, right? And that helps teach your mind that body intensity doesn't always mean danger, okay? One tool for this is opening up your vision, right? When you stress, our pupils dilate and our vision narrows. And we get this tunnel vision. I don't know if you guys heard about the tunnel vision. So it's like your brain puts life into a gamer focus mode, okay? So great for spotting danger, not great for seeing the bigger picture. So when you feel stress rising, try calming your observation. Without you moving your head too much, notice the space around you. Notice your room. Notice your outer vision. Let your eyes take more of the area you're in, like the area you're surrounded by, your environment, right? This can help calm your brain. So it tells your nervous system we're safe enough to see more than just the problem. And that is really powerful if you think about it, right? Because stress makes the problem feel like the whole world, and practicing observation reminds your brain that there is more here than that one stressful thing, right? So we talk about medium-term stress. Now let's talk about long-term stress, because that's different, okay? Long-term stress is when your body stays activated for months or even years, okay? This is the kind of stress that can affect sleep, mood, digestion, hormones, the immune system, and even like your heart health, right? Oh no, ads. I'll wait. I'll wait a little bit so that Joe is off the ads. Again, thank you so much for being here, guys. I will start again talking about the long-term stress, because that's the one that most of us get stuck on. The long-term stress is the one that's the most damaging to our bodies, the long-term stress that we get caught on because of trauma and things that we've been through before, you know? Thank you, lovely Chels. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. Is How are you today, Sushi? I am doing good, thank you. I'm waiting for Joe to come back. And today we have a meditation at the end too. Oh, you're back. Okay, good. Welcome in, lovely Charles. And Gatsonti, thank you so much for stopping by. How are you doing today? Lovely Charles is a self-proclaimed mad streamer who seems to have a soft spot for Dead by Daylight. She's really good at Dead by Daylight, actually, guys. They seem to enjoy short streams, saying hi a lot. Don't be a lurker though. Follow or else. Sushi love, you're welcome. How's your day today though, Gatsanti? It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a bit. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so Big Joe, I'm gonna start again on the long-term stress, okay? I'm gonna restart talking about long-term stress because the long-term stress, okay, is different than medium-term stress or short-term stress, okay? Long-term stress is when your body stays activated for months or even years, okay? And that kind of stress can affect sleep, mood, hormones. It can affect your immune system. It can affect your heart health, okay? And so our body is not meant to live in emergency mode forever. Even your phone needs to recharge, and it doesn't even have childhood traumas like we do, right? So if stress is stopping us from sleeping well, resting, connecting, eating normally, or feeling like ourselves, our full selves, then it's a sign to pay attention, right? Because long-term stress needs support, okay? And the biggest tool are not always fancy. So there are things like regular sleep, movement. They're simple tools, okay? I'll try coming here more often. Thank you. So, you know, to manage this long-term stress, like I said, it's not fancy. It's actually quite simple, but sometimes we can overcomplicate it, right? So it's regular sleep. Like I said, a lot of us struggle with, you know, we struggle. All of us kind of struggle with regular sleep, especially gamers, streamers, you know, and movement. You know, sometimes, you know, we're on this chair for a really long time. We got to make sure we move, and we need breathing tools, and we need healthy routines, and we need support, and we also need connection. Connection is extremely important, right? One of the most powerful tools for long-term stress is social connection, actually. And this is nice. We have a social connection here, which is really nice. But it's not like we don't have to have a huge friends list or a huge friends group, or we don't need to be popular. But not being we need to not being constantly available and not answering every single message within like 4 seconds, you know, like you work for customer support of some sort for everybody, right? We need real connection, like real connection. We need to feel safe with someone. We need to feel seen by that person. We need to laugh together. We need to be around someone we trust, right? Spending time with a pet even, right? We need to be a part of a community, experience delightful moments, and good memories, right? That's why I've been trying to build a community, an online community, and I'm not the best at keeping up with it, not gonna lie, because life is busy for Sushi. Really busy. If you spent one day as a little fly following me around, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you know, it's a lot. It's actually quite intense how busy I am. But I'm still trying to build a community, you know, on shenanigans, that we can count on each other, and we can, you know, have good moments and movie nights and all that stuff. So all of these experiences of feeling safe with people, and, you know, the moments and community and everything, these are all connected to serotonin. And serotonin, as we all know, is a brain and body chemical linked to feeling of well-being, comfort, trust, and just an overall feeling of I have enough right now, right? Sometimes healing is deep work. A lot of times it's deep work. And sometimes healing is laughing at a silly video game, with friends, or eating a snack that makes us feel really good and makes us just come back to our body, having a comforting meal that just help us come back to being present, and that's not weakness. It's biology. And we need connection, that we talk, and to have a great connections to friends and God. 100% having great connections to friends and God, or the universe, whatever you call, it's important to me. It's very important to have connection with nature too, to walk barefoot on the grass and on the forest. It's important to me, even if my feet get disgusting dirty. I love walking barefoot in the forest. It's just so nice. um, you just feel that energy from Mother Nature, It's amazing. It's very healing. But I wanted to talk a little bit about supplements. I'm going to talk about the supplements that I have tried. Mommy Issues Maxine, thank you for the follow. Mommy Nature, yes, Mommy Nature. Nice, Mommy Shoe Maxine. Gotta love Mommy Nature, right? When you love Mommy Nature, you have no mommy issues. I'm always barefoot unless working or going to the store. I love being barefoot too. I love being barefoot. My feet are actually very resilient. They're not like, I don't have super bad feet or anything, but they're very resilient. I can walk on a lot of rough areas with my feet. Yeah. I don't think that's how it works. Maybe not, but we can try, right? We can try. But I wanted to talk a little bit about supplements, okay? Because I do take some supplements. I have tried other supplements as well. They are toughened. They're very toughened. Yeah, they have a nice thick layer. They're not baby feet, but they're not all crackly either. They were for a bit. I have to be careful with that, You can ask what accent that is. Yes, of course. It's Brazilian. I am actually original from Brazil. I was born and raised there. I moved to Canada when I was 21 years old. And so I can't get rid of the accent. I have tried getting rid of. I see I even like speaking slowly again, but that's okay. So, hi, Mommy Nature. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about supplements. I take L-theanine. Okay, this is the one supplement that really, I love it. I love that supplement so much. L-theanine is derived from green tea. Okay, and Zealous Pumpkin, hello, how are you doing? You stopped by, I saw you follow me. Good afternoon, happy Monday, how's it going? Good. It's Mental Health Monday, so we're talking about, yes, every Monday I have Mental Health Mondays, and today I am talking about overcoming fear and stress. So we have already talked about the neuroscience of fear, using fear productively, and now we're talking about understanding stress and fear. Okay? That's every Monday I have this. And if you actually, anyone that is in this chat right now that would like to join shenanigans, I'm gonna put the link right here because my link keeps expiring. I don't understand. Anyways, this is a little community server. It's a shenanigans, and I post all of my polls for the topics. We have movie nights, we have karaoke nights, we have Jackbox nights. We just had karaoke last Saturday, and we have custom community Fortnite nights as well. And actually, one of the things I want to talk about today is, if you guys want, I have a great 52-minute video that I have played on the stream before. It's called Overcoming Fear and Stress, and it's fantastic. It's from Transcendence, and I can show tonight at the server if you guys want me to. I would show here on the stream, but I just don't want to make it super long for you guys, that's all. But if you guys want, I can put a poll before the end of the stream, and we can make a decision if we wanted to show that tonight or not. It's a fantastic show. Fantastic show. It's a 52-minute video, and I would highly recommend any person in this whole entire world watch it. It's so good. Okay? Again, Zealous Pumpkin, thank you for being here. I'm going to go back into talking about some of these supplements. So some people take supplements for stress or sleep, like L-theanine, which I love it. Ashwagandha or melatonin. Melatonin we have to be careful about it, super careful, okay? Because supplements can really affect people super differently. I cannot do melatonin, okay? Supplements, they're not automatically safe for everyone, okay? For example, melatonin can be taken in doses much higher than the body naturally produces, and that may not be good for everyone. Definitely not for me. I don't like melatonin. It does help me sleep, but then the next day I'm an absolute disaster. I'm so depressed the next day. So L-theanine, you take omega-3 and vitamin B2 sometimes. That's good. Vitamin B1 is also very good for stress and stuff like that. And so L-theanine can help some people relax or transition into sleep. I take L-theanine every single day, and I take it in the morning. It just keeps the stress level low, okay, for me, L-theanine. And when the time comes to sleep, I am actually tired, right? And I take L-theanine every single day. It's the one thing that I take every single day. It's, again, derived from the green tea. It's really good for you. I take a multivitamin for slightly older people that has more in it. Oh, cool. No cortisol. Hehe. Yeah. Yes, we definitely need to replace some of the. I like to eat food. I like to eat food rich in vitamins naturally, because I don't. To me, the multivitamins that come from the store, the cheaper ones are synthetic. If you want to get the real stuff, you're gonna pay a lot of money for them, right? So I eat a lot of good foods. I make my own broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts is a huge superpower, and this is why one of these days I want to talk about the subject of nutrition and mental health. That's why I put it as one of the options there, because it's so crazy. I am Brazilian Portuguese. You got that right, Pumpkin. I am Brazilian Portuguese. Yes, that's my first language. How did you guess? I don't. You could tell by my eyes. Ooh, my eyes. I have Brazilian eyes. That's funny. Bone structure, facial features. Oh, nobody ever guessed I'm Brazilian. That's funny. Everybody thinks I'm French. So that's really good on you, Pumpkin. Muito bom, muito bom. Ooh, in Brazil this is not good actually. Never mind. Thank you, Gatsanti. Eu sou pumpkinzinho. Pumpkinzinho. That's funny. That's so funny. So we're gonna talk about ashwagandha too. Ashwagandha. Okay, so we talked about L-theanine and melatonin. I don't like melatonin. I love L-theanine. Ashwagandha. You speak Spanish, but I understand a bit of Portuguese. I speak Portuguese mainly, but I understand a little bit of Spanish. Actually, I can talk Spanish a little bit. You know, I just haven't spoken for a while. It's been a while actually since if I have Spanish people around all the time, I can pick up quite quickly. But if I don't, then it kind of goes away. You know, you forget a few words. They're similar, but not the same, right? So ashwagandha can help some people with stress and cortisol. It can help a lot of people with that, right? But it's not for something for everyone, and you shouldn't take it all the time. That one did not work for me either. I felt like whatever you stop practicing, you might forget exactly. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? Yeah. So ashwagandha for me, it works for so many people, ashwagandha, but for me, it was good for me for the day, but the next day I noticed that I was really edgy. You know, I was very short wick. I would get upset quickly, grumpy, for lack of words. You know. So yeah, I need to learn Japanese. I want to learn Japanese too. Short-tempered is another word. Hola, Luis Miguel. How are you doing, guys? Luis Miguel here is my friend, and he is one of my Fortnite friends, but also we became really good life friends, and he's trying to get his affiliate on his DJ account, which is maybe Luis Miguel. He does a lot of he does all the DJ sets. It's really fun. So if you want to drop him a little follow to help him on his affiliate journey, he's not an affiliate yet. So if you want to give him a follow and check him out sometimes to help him get to that affiliate status, please help him out, okay? I got it, but we'll take new followers. Oh, you got it! Yoo-hoo! Yeah! Thank you so much. Of course. I'm so happy you got it. Cheeks. I'm not gonna call you this, I'm gonna call you Cheeks because you're cheeks. So again, about the supplements, please check with a qualified professional if you decide to experiment with supplements. Don't be like me. I just try them and then they might work and they might not. And then some days I'm like, why am I so angry? What's going on with me? And then I'm like, oh, I took something different. Right. I took something different. So you got to be careful. You can't mix a bunch of stuff together too. You got to be careful what you take. So yeah, so please check with somebody first. Don't be like me, okay? um, we love nervous system support. We do not we don't like random supplement chaos, right? So let's reframe for a second here. Stress is not always bad, okay? Stress is energy, okay? It's activation. Stress is our body preparing you to respond, okay? um, the goal here is not to never feel stress. The goal is to build a healthier relationship with stress. So can I stop treating every stressful moment like it defines my whole life? Right? Because stress becomes more manageable when we stop seeing it as the enemy and start seeing as just information, right? Sometimes stress can say, you care about this, or you need rest. It could also say, this situation is too much for me. And sometimes it could even say, you drank too much coffee and now your nervous system thinks you're entering a battle, which is fair, right? It's fair. So now that we know stress isn't the enemy, but also we don't want it setting up permanent residence in our nervous system, right? We know all of that. So let's talk about how we break the stress cycle. All right. Deep breath. Deep breath. I'm talking a lot today, guys. Holy moly. I have 2 videos to show today. That's it. Everything else is me talking, and it was going to be a lot more talking. I had to summarize a lot more because I had all this stuff about the prefrontal cortex that there was just so much, and let me see here. So we have this that I actually pulled up so that we can understand a little bit, like the amygdala, right? The amygdala being functioning as the brain alarm system for detecting threats, activating. Sorry, I'm just moving it so it's not in the wrong place. So amygdala functions as the brain's alarm system for detecting threats, activating survival responses, and shaping our traumas. The trauma is emotionally processed. The hippocampus, involved in the memory processing and distinguishing past from present experiences, helping the brain make sense of traumatic events. We talked about the hippocampus a little. It's a little bit more of the reasonable part of our brain, right? It helps us distinguish and put a difference aside, right, between being stressful and being in danger, right? And then we have the inferior frontal gyrus, which supports controlling impulses and maintaining attention, playing a key role in managing reactions during trauma. It helps the brain regulate behavior. We have the anterior cingulate cortex, which supports managing emotions, decision-making, and calming fear reactions, helping the brain regulate responses and adapt after a trauma. And then we have the prefrontal cortex, which supports rational thinking and helps regulate emotional responses like fear, initiated by amygdala, playing a key role in managing reactions to trauma. Okay? And then the hypothalamus, which controls the body's stress response by regulating hormone release that prepares the body to threats and help restore balance after stress. So I had before all of these broken down in my text, and I cut down to just a few of them, just so it wasn't too much. But I wanted to show that little breakdown. And I also have I showed the HP axis, and I also wanted to show the anxious brain really quick, guys. I'm really passionate about this stuff. I love learning about the brain. Love learning about the brain. And Dr. Joe Dispenza is the one that got me into this. don't have a lot of ads either. Like, I'm so sorry. Where is the thing? Okay. So the anxious brain, so the prefrontal cortex involved in logical response and reasoning, anxiety can shut down the prefrontal cortex, hampering logical thinking and rationalizing, right? And then again, the anterior cingulate cortex amplify fear signal from the amygdala. In anxiety disorder, malfunctioning ACC hyperactivates the amygdala. And again, the amygdala is responsible for response to fearful stimuli. In persistent anxiety, the amygdala increases in size, boosting response to scary stimuli, which, yeah, it keeps it going, right? So once you understand what each part of your brain does, it helps a little bit too, right? Um, so, oh no, I'm gonna show you this at the end. Yeah, that's gonna be at the end. So, don't have that option anymore. Oh, you don't have Prime? Oh yeah, Turbo never gets ad no matter how you watch. Yeah. So, we're gonna talk about breaking the stress cycle. Okay? And there's something pretty wild about that. Okay? So 75 to 90% people who go to the doctor, they're there because of stress, not because of physical problems, but because of actual emotional stress. So this isn't just like a mental health talk, okay? Well, here and here, like, so it's not just a mental health talk; it's like a life talk because this is really important. A lot of people going to the hospital because of mental health problems, right? Because mental health problems can really affect our whole body as it is, right? So let's get a little spicy here. So our body doesn't just experience stress, okay? It can get addicted to it. Did you know that? Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about this. Actually, I took some of this from his book, and I didn't copy and paste. I just made my own thing. But yeah, so we can get addicted to stress, and our brain is out here like, you know what I need today? A little anxiety, maybe some overthinking. Let's sprinkle a little worst case scenario in it too. You know what I mean? So why are we like this, right? But seriously, when we're constantly stressed, our body starts to crave those chemicals. It craves cortisol, it craves adrenaline, and it craves that survival mode energy, right? So what happens? What happens to that? So we start needing the toxic job, the drama, the overthinking, and the chaos. And I know this is like hard to hear. And if you really, if you are there, and if you have, just start thinking about it, okay? Because I actually started breaking the cycle after I read the Joe Dispenza book, Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself. That's when I actually started applying his little formula at the tail end of the book. He has a formula that he teaches, and how to break that cycle, right? A lot of it is meditation, but it doesn't mean you go like that's not the meditation. Like I said, meditation is to become familiar with. It's just take the time to be in the present moment, the generous present moment, like says Dr. Joe Dispenza, right? It's just taking maybe 5 minutes before you get up for the day. You set that intention, you close your eyes, you pay attention to your breathing. You know, me and my grateful journal is something that really gets my day started well. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to react to things throughout the day, but maybe that reaction will be shorter and shorter and shorter as I apply this more often in my life. And it's really, it's a discipline you have to apply every day. You know, you have to just like, when your brain is going somewhere else, you bring it back. It's going somewhere else, you bring it back. I think we talked about this last week too, right? Just if you sit there for a little bit and then your brain tries to go out 50 times and you bring it back 50 times to the present moment, that's a big win. That's when your brain starts changing, right? So we want to just so again, when we start needing the toxic job, drama, overthinking to just feel normal, because that's the comfortable part. It's not you being broken or anything like that. It's just your body being conditioned. Like our body's getting conditioned, right? So we can talk about fear a little bit because fear gets a really bad reputation. Like I said, we talked about before, fear isn't the villain. Fear is actually your body trying to protect you, right? But the problem is that it doesn't really know the difference between a real threat and I thought you made up at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So your brain goes, oh no, we might be embarrassed in that conversation tomorrow, right? And meanwhile, everybody else in the whole entire world is sleeping, not caring that you're having that thought. It's so hard sometimes to let that go. I know because it happens to me sometimes. It's hard sometimes, when something's just overtaken you and your body, right? So you start like your heart starts racing and then you get all this stress and anxiety, right? All from something that didn't even happen, right? So, how are we going to use fear instead of fighting it, right? Instead of getting rid of fear, we're going to try to think, what is this trying to show me, right? What can fear can actually be like a signal you're growing and a sign that you care, and it can be a gateway or a doorway to change. So if I'm scared, I'm probably stepping into something bigger, right? Because change is scary. And here is where it gets deeper, right? When something emotional happens in our life, like a trauma, a heartbreak, abandonment, rejection, our brain will create, our brain creates a memory with all of those, right? But not just a memory, okay? It creates a feeling attached to the memory, that feeling that it's in the memory. And every time you think about it, you recreate that emotion. So now, thought triggers emotion, and then the emotion reinforces the thought. So it's like a loop, right? It becomes a loop, and that loop becomes your personality. I believe we did talk about that last week, actually. So if you feel stress every day, your body starts believing this is who I am, not and not this is something I experienced, right? And there's a big difference in that. So because this is who I am versus this is something I have experienced, um, it's the part that people need, okay? This is the part that people need. So we have to catch ourselves when those things happen, when we go into those loops, right? Like mid thought, oh, I'm doing this thing again. If you like, for example, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time explaining here. When you get caught up on that loop, it's important for you to be conscious about it. And when you are conscious about it, it's really powerful, okay? Because you're no longer unconscious, right? So when you feel stress rising, you got to do something different. And simple tools is to just slow your breathing, pause, or just like shift focus. Even if you just go like, wait, I don't want to feel like this right now. And that pattern that you're used to doing is interrupted, right? So your body is used to stress. Our body is used to stress. So when we stop feeding stress, it's going to be like, excuse me, where's the chaos, right? And this is where most people quit, because it feels uncomfortable. But that discomfort is actually you breaking the addiction to it, or breaking the habit of it, like Joe Dispenza says, right? So when you break the addiction or the habit, you don't just remove stress, you replace it. You start by practicing different feelings like gratitude, calm, appreciation, contemplation. Even if it feels fake at first, even if you don't feel it actually, just practice feeling that, because there's always something to be grateful for and to be appreciated for, because our body learns through repetition, right? So if we talk about gratitude really quick here, okay? Because gratitude is so powerful. I talked about this a lot. Gratitude is not just being nice. It's actually a biological reset. And when we feel genuine gratitude, okay? Our heart rhythm will change and our brain will calm right down. Our body moves out of survival mode and it literally tells your system, we're safe now. And here's the magic. The magic is that you don't have to wait for life to be good to be grateful, okay? You practice gratitude so your body starts believing life is good, okay? So to get super real, okay? Holding on to anger and holding on to resentment, it feels justified a lot of times. But the truth is, um, all of those feelings keeps you connected to the past and it keeps you stuck, okay? And forgiveness is not like what they did was okay. It's not. It doesn't mean that. It's just, it means that I'm done carrying this. And when you let go of the emotion, you take your energy back and you take your power back, you know? So I'm gonna show a little video for you, but if you take anything from tonight, I would like for you to know for certain that you're not stuck. You're not your past. You're not your stress. You've just been practicing the pattern that was just programmed into you. So anything you practice on, you can change. Okay? So just like playing piano, riding a bike, anything you practice over time, you can change. So next time your brain starts overthinking, okay, just look at it like, oh yes, my brain's doing its little drama series again. We see you, we love you, but we're choosing something different, right? So take a breath and remind yourself, I can learn to feel better. I can learn to think differently and I can change, right? And that's really powerful. It's you taking your power back to you and you're not letting yourself live based on your past and what was programmed into your brain. Because our brain is like a computer, we get programs downloaded into it. When we're born, we're fresh, right? And then we get programs putting into our brain, just like a hard drive. Um, like Bruce Lipton says, if you buy a computer and you turn the computer, it's not going to be anything there for you. You have to program it, right? You have to put the programs into it so that you can actually do it. And each person programs their computer differently, just like every person they're brought into this world, into this environment. They didn't necessarily choose. Some environments might be better than others, but we get programs into us, and that's why it's so important to, if we got all this program loaded into our brain from early ages that doesn't do us any service, it's not the end. We can reverse it. We can practice and change, right? So, and like I said, every time it's one step at a time. And honestly, doing all the paperwork for this and doing all the research for this and going back into my books and going back into some of the studies from Dr. Joe Dispenza and Andrew Huberman and everything, it's really, it helps me so much. And I'm so happy to spend this time learning more, to share more, and enjoy this together. Whoever is listening, whoever is talking, whoever is here lurking, I don't care. As long as one person can take a little something from this, that's all that matters to me. And I'm taking things from it myself, so it's never a waste of time for me. I love researching and getting Mental Health Mondays together so that we can all learn together and grow together. I think it's awesome, and this is something I'm extremely passionate about. All the small things. Yes, it's in the small things, 100%. I am going to show. I'm still here. My connection acting dumb. That's okay. God Santi, that's okay. Okay, so I am going to be showing a video. It's actually a Joe Dispenza after school video. It's a new one. It just came out a couple of weeks ago. And so I'm going to play it. I hope you enjoyed. Please pay attention. And after this video, I'm going to start a poll and about if I should play the movie tonight or not. Okay? Bear with me.
I think the biggest difficulty in change is making a different choice. Now think about the New Year's resolutions. Everybody's very clear about what their intention is, what they want, whatever that is. But if you keep making the same choices, you're going to keep doing the same things. You're going to keep creating the same experiences. You're going to keep feeling the same emotions. And your biology and your neurocircuitry and your chemistry and your hormones and even your gene expression is going to stay the same because you're the same. But keep thinking the same way, keep acting the same way, keep feeling the same way, and do it over and over again. Those circuits in the brain ultimately become hardwired. And the emotions that are a response to someone or something, even your own thoughts, get conditioned subconsciously as a program into the body. So 95% of who we are by the middle of our life is an unconscious set of thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that are automatically programmed into our biology. So the first step to change is not thinking positively. You got to become conscious of those unconscious thoughts when you decide to make a different choice and it doesn't feel familiar. The thought that says, start tomorrow, it's too hard, just do it anyway, go ahead and make that choice, do the same thing. You're not good enough, you'll never change, you're too much like your parents, I failed last time. You have to be able to become so conscious of those unconscious thoughts that you would never go unconscious to that thought ever again, and that's change. You'd have to catch yourself, how you speak and how you act. If you want to be happy and you're blaming and you're complaining and you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're judging everyone, those behaviors are not going to make you happy. They're actually going to make you unhappy. So you got to become so conscious of those unconscious habituations that you wouldn't go unconscious and behave that way. And then, of course, you got to look at those emotions that are pretty much chemical residue from the past, and decide, does this lack, does this suffering, does this pain belong in my future? And that process of becoming so conscious that we don't go unconscious is the process of change. And how many times do we have to forget until we stop forgetting and start remembering? That's the moment of change. So the hard part about change is when you decide to make a different choice, get ready. It's going to feel uncomfortable. There's going to be uncertainty. You're not going to be able to predict the next moment. It's going to feel unfamiliar. So if the body has been conditioned to be the mind, then the servant is the master. So the body starts sending information back to the brain to think a certain thought so that you make the same choice, that you do the same thing, you create the same experience.
This is familiar.
Get back to the same feeling of suffering. Oh, that feels so much better than the uncertainty of the unknown. So going from the old self to the new self and crossing that river literally is a neurological, it's a biological, it's a chemical, it's a hormonal, it's a genetic death of the old self. That's the phoenix lighting itself on fire. And most people would rather cling to that familiar place than take a chance and possibility. That void, that vacuum actually is the perfect place to create. And we discovered this, that the brain changes the most when you get to that point where you think you can't go any further and you want to quit. If you go past that point, that is the unknown. Now, the unknown has always been wired in our biology, that the uncertainty of the unknown is always a scary place. Is that a tiger in the bushes, or is that just a shadow? So the unknown becomes a very scary place when we're living in survival. So most people never take that chance and possibility. But if a person's actually taught how to execute in the unknown and there's nothing scary there, and they can apply the same principle and say, what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain? And a belief is just a thought you keep thinking over and over again. So what is the voice in my head that I want to program my brain into thinking and believing? What behaviors am I going to demonstrate in my life? If I'm going to not behave this way around this person or around this circumstance and I want to behave a different way, let me rehearse in my mind, close my eyes, and get really clear on how I'm going to respond or behave in this circumstance. And the act of mental rehearsal literally grows circuits in the brain. Now your brain's looking like you've already done it. Your brain is no longer a record of the past. It's being conditioned and mapped into the future. So now you have the circuitry in place. If you keep practicing that, the hardware becomes more automatic. It becomes more of a software program, and you start behaving that way. And then the biggest challenge then is, okay, if I'm not going to feel suffering, and I'm not going to feel pain, and I'm not going to feel judgment, but I want to feel grateful for my life, can I teach my body emotionally what my future will feel like before it happens. So once you start conditioning your body to an elevated emotion, we tend to see that the heart-centered emotions tend to be the ones that produce the most dramatic changes in our biology. And the body's so objective, it really doesn't know the difference between the real life experience that's creating that emotion and the emotion that you're creating by thought alone. And the body starts getting lifted in a lot of ways. So keep thinking differently, keep acting differently, keep feeling differently. That's your personality. Then your personal reality begins to change. And with people who cross that river, there's new opportunities, there's new experiences, there's new events that take place in their life. So that's what we teach.
So is the issue that people, when they want change, they don't change deeply enough? They're just looking at, well, if I do this particular new physical habit, that will be able to change things, but the underlying currents that are driving that behavior are always going to come in and then take over, despite the fact that you don't want to eat sugar anymore, or you want to be more polite with your partner, or you want to be more... It's too surface level with a lot of the change that tries to be attempted.
Yeah, I think that people, unfortunately, they have to get knocked to our lowest level sometimes, where you're no longer inside the jar. When you're inside the jar, you can't read the label. You got to get so uncomfortable that you could actually see yourself, right? And so that tragedy, that crisis, that disease, the diagnosis, the loss, it's got to be so severe that you finally look at yourself and say, maybe it's me. Oh my God, could it possibly be me? But you're looking at yourself kind of through the eyes of someone else because you don't feel like you in that moment. You're so uncomfortable that you can see yourself. That concept is called metacognition, right? So a lot of times people wait for that crisis or the diagnosis or the betrayal to go, oh my God, I got to really change because I'm really unhappy, or I can't blame that person or my past or my circumstance because and nothing's working here. I got to really start making those changes. So when they see themselves separate from their program, they're becoming conscious of their unconscious self. That is the first step to change. Now, I say you can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, which most people like to do, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration, right? So could you be defined by the vision of the future? And could you get up from your morning practice, actually believing in your future more than you're believing in your past? So from that elevated state where you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, from an elevated state, instead of a self-limiting state, you can be conscious of that old self as well. And so I think, God, what a great time in history to be alive, because this is a time in history where it's not enough to know. This is really a time in history to know how. And I've been at this long enough to know that 20 years ago, people didn't hear it like they hear it now. The information is readily available, and people are realizing, kind of, if I have this dream, if I have this goal, how bad do I want it? And if they really want it, and we've all done this, you sit down and you say, what would it be like to be super healthy, super wealthy, super in love, super mystical, transcendental, whatever it is? Like, you ask that question and your brain gets really creative. It starts combining circuits in new ways, and you start getting this vision of the future, this possibility that you actually put yourself in this future reality. It becomes so real that you start to feel the emotion as if you were actually there. And so that moment when you come out of your resting state, the stronger the emotion you feel when you hold that vision, the more you'll remember that vision. That's creating a memory. So the person comes out of their resting state and they make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that causes their body to respond to their mind. That their choice that they're making in that moment becomes a moment in time that they would never forget. They'll say to you, I remember the moment I made up my mind to change. I was in this place. I was with these people. I was this particular time. That the event is a long-term memory. And they've come out of the resting state. And we could say then they're giving their body a taste of the future emotionally, and somehow they begin to embody whatever that future is, and now they begin to move in a different direction. And so they start trusting in their future more because they feel like they're connected to it. So then the person who's really interested in making a change would have to come to that same state again in order to produce the same effect. If they say, I don't feel like it, or I want to be nicer, or whatever, and there's nothing really at stake. Intention is really meaning. You gotta have a meaning behind what you're doing. So people who now say, I want a better life, I can't have a better life unless I change. And when I change, my life will change. Now you're not so interested in what's happening out there. You're more interested in what's going on inside of you.
What's happening, people? Thank you very much for watching the animation. I adore After School. I think Mark is unbelievably talented, as I'm sure that you agree. And if you want to watch the full episode with Joe in all of its glory, it's available, linked in the description below or in the comments. All right. Big love.
Again! I keep doing that. I want to mute myself for the video and then I forgot to unmute myself. It's alright. Every time. I should have some... See, this is it. No, I need to use my fingers for something. I'll mute and unmute. That's what I'll do. Yeah. Unmute light. Yeah, it's red. See, I'm returning my XLR cable because it's too short and my mic has to be a certain position, so I'm gonna have a little bit of freedom. I'm gonna add 2 extra feet. This is the 3 feet thing that made everything kind of tight. It's a good quality cable, but I got a little bit of a longer cable and I'll be able to look at the light, when it's going to be moved a little bit this way more, whatever. So yes, I have a poll. Do we play Transcendence tonight? Yes, maybe another night, or I'm too busy tonight. You can vote. I made it a 10-minute thing. So yeah. Whoever wants to vote, you can vote. I am going to finalize our stream today with a meditation. It's 3:12 now. Oh, yeah. So yeah, just let me know. And yeah, it's a 52-minute video. It's a good show. I have shown in here before. I have shown in here before. So I think a lot of you guys have seen it already, but I think that there's no problem in watching it again. It's a great, very informational, very good for you guys and for me too. It's always good to have a reminder. See the light. It's like whoa. It's like whoa. Yeah. And I have to sneeze. At least the quercetin works a little. Lady Dabby, if you have allergy issues, buy quercetin. Actually, since we're here, I am going to bring my top supplements that I take every day, and I'll be right back. I used to take more, but it's really expensive, so I took NAD Plus off, which is a really good anti-age, and resveratrol. I used to take resveratrol, and I used to take NAD as well, and this is a really expensive one. It's called NMN. It's really good. So it helps increase the NAD level on the body, and it helps with energy and metabolism. This is like, whenever we do the nutrition thing, I'm gonna talk about all of these, but I'll just, this I'm gonna stop. It's so expensive, I can't keep up. It's too expensive, but this is a must. L-theanine is a must for me. I get the Organica brand. Again, I'm not endorsed by, there's nothing going on here. It's just what I do. myself. L-theanine is the calming one. So it's derived from green tea. It helps calm you down, but it also has a lot of antioxidants. It's really good for your health. Quercetin, Lady Debbie, this is the one that is really good for allergies, okay? It has to have bromelain in it. Quercetin with bromelain, okay? So the quercetin with bromelain, really good for allergies, better than any antihistamine. When the allergy season is coming, if you take it every single day, and sometimes you can take a little bit more. I take just one. One seems to do the job for me, even though I get, the odd sneezing. I'm gonna say, like, my asthma has been so good. Yeah, I'll DM for you. I know it's blurry. I would definitely DM for you. Quercetin with bromelain. And the letters are pretty light, too. It's kind of hard to read. Fantastic for allergies. And whenever you get sick a little bit, it fixed itself. Yeah, whenever you feel like you're getting sick, start taking this with oregano oil, and also NAC, N-acetyl L-cysteine. Really good to reduce oxidative damage to the body. NAC particularly is really good for upper respiratory issues, for asthma. It's also good for whenever you get a cold and stuff. It helps get all the goop off your lungs. It's really good for that. And it's actually really good if you decide to, for example, you want to go out drinking. You're going to drink a little bit and whatever, have a few drinks. Take a half an hour before you start drinking. It really helps reduce hangover. And L-theanine is good for that too, by the way. It's good to keep your liver health going as well. It's a good antioxidant. And I don't take those for this. I actually haven't drank in over a month. Over a month? Yeah, about a month. So, yeah, those are really good. I love sharing stuff that works for me. It doesn't work for everybody, so do a little research, make sure it works for you. For me, it works fantastically for me. I love it. So, would you guys like a little meditation to end the stream? It's about, let's see here. There's 1, 2, 3. Doesn't hurt to try, for sure. Yeah. Who would like a little calming meditation? Yes, I can do a short one. Just so about letting go. I wanted to talk about, to try to just relax, get a good intention for the week. Sounds good? Sounds good. And then, guys, I would love for you to stay and show some love for Pink Lemons. She's finally alive. I've been wanting to rate her forever on the Mental Health Mondays. She's playing music today. And I think everybody knows how Pink Lemon is amazing. She's super cool lady, super cool girl. She plays a lot of music. She plays a lot of instruments on her stream. And she's just a fantastic human being. She does a lot of mental health too. And today she's practicing patience and gratitude and playing piano. Mental Health Monday. So I think that's really good. So I am going to turn my camera off. I'm gonna let you guys be on this scene right here. Let me know if the music is too loud. Is the music okay, you think? Let me know if the music is a good loudness, or if it's too loud. Is my voice to music ratio okay, guys? Sounds fine? Okay. Okay. If you're somewhere comfortable where you can actually try to get a little comfortable. And what I mean by getting comfortable, it's however getting comfortable looks for you right now. You don't need to force anything. Just try to be here and be present. Just arrive and Let's take a slow breath in and a soft breath out. And again, in. Let your shoulders drop a little. Drop your shoulders. Relax your shoulders and your neck. Let's unclench your jaw. And let's just let our body know it's safe to be here for a moment. And let's just be really aware of our breath right now. We don't have to change it, just observe it. Like little waves coming in and out. If your mind is busy, it's okay. You don't have to fight it. Just let the thoughts pass by. Let the thoughts pass by just like clouds moving across the sky. Now, let's imagine we're walking along a nice, quiet beach. It's so peaceful. It's so calm. The kind of place where nothing is rushing you. You feel your sand under your feet, the warmth of the sun on your skin, and the sound of the waves gently rolling in. Take just a quick moment here. And as you walk, let's start to notice something behind us. There's this weight, something you've been carrying. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's fear, maybe it's something that you've been holding on for way too long. And we don't have to name it, we can just feel it. And now, in front of you, you see something in the sand, and you walk closer, and then you realize it's something meant for you. It's a tool, a choice, a moment. This is your chance to let go. So gently, in your way, imagine releasing that weight, cutting the tie, dropping the anchor, letting it all fall behind you, all far away from you. No pressure, no force. You're just choosing to let it go. And notice what happens. Maybe you feel lighter. Maybe you feel emotional. Maybe you feel nothing yet. All of that is okay. Your body knows what's doing. Now look back for a moment. See the weight being carried away by the waves. It's no longer yours to hold. And with every breath, you feel just a little more free. Now, bring your attention back to your body. Feel your chest rise and fall. Feel your hands. Feel your feet. You're here. You made it here, and that matters. Now let's imagine just for a second a vision of you, that it's a version of yourself not far from now. And that version is a calmer you, a lighter you, a more grounded you. And that version of you looks at you and says, I'm proud of you. You're doing this better than you think. Keep going. Take that in. Take that in. Now take one nice, slow breath in. Let it out gently. And whenever you're ready, you can bring your awareness back. You can wiggle your fingers, move your body a little bit, and open your eyes. And we're here. We're okay. And we're all doing really, really, really good. We're doing amazing. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. How's everybody doing? Hi, Dave. Have you been here? I hope you were here. Good. I'm glad you liked it. Been here the whole time? Aw, that's good. I hope you enjoyed the subject, Dave. I hope you enjoyed it. I will post another poll tonight for next week's. Okay? So, before we go, I'm going to remind you guys to drink some water, get some rest, and maybe eat something that makes you all happy, makes you so happy, preferably sushi, but I won't judge, no problem. So we are making through today. It's evening for some of you, it's morning for some of you, it's mid-afternoon for me, but we made it through. So we're making it through today, and that's already enough, right, for everybody. I love you guys so much. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you all. I'm going to be reading out to Pinky Melons. I know some of you know her, and she's also Mental Health Monday, and today she's talking about practicing patience and gratitude, and she's playing the piano. So shall we send her some loving vibes? I think we should. Show her some vibes, some love, and have a great rest of your day, Kush. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you, everybody, for sharing this growth with me and learning together with me. It's very nice to have a community to grow with and to work on bettering yourselves together. Have a great night, Forsaken God. Thank you, everybody. I will be reading out to Pinky Melons now, another mental health person that it's fantastic. You'll love her. Okay? Thank you. Bye.